say they were chasing a reckless driver who was driving in a stolen car. That chase ending right here. There are officers in riot gear lined up outside facing those protesters right now. Whoever was there, officers, sheriffs, why did they let him go? Inside City Hall's elevator, it's about 4 feet from one wall to the other. It has been an incredibly emotional day for family members. I asked Riham in Arabic why they opened this restaurant. Throughout the entire playoff season, you can expect, high five, you can expect additional security. For the folks who live in this community who are against this graduation, what is your message to them? AJ, watch out, watch out. We're seeing a car that just missed us here, driving on the sidewalk. Do you have any advice for Giannis? What is it like to be a young superstar in this big stage? Donnie was in Chicago when his equipment was stolen, but it's here in Milwaukee where he's made a name for himself. Did you ever consider taking off your uniform and quitting your job after that happened?
The future of arcade games may be in jeopardy as bars and restaurants transition to more touch-free environments.
12 News' Sarah Thamer spoke with a local arcade vendor who says the machines will be in storage for a while. Red's Novelty in West Dallas has been in the game since 1938.
Third generation owner. My grandfather was Red. He started the business 80 years ago.
From pinball and dart machines to video games and pool tables, Jay Jackamit provides the equipment at bars and restaurants.
Amusement centers, your bowling alleys, movie theaters.
And gets 50% of the profits. That's thousands of dollars every month. But now...
Times are very different, yes. So we've been getting calls to pick up equipment.
Jackamit says bars and restaurants are getting rid of their machines. They're now piling up in his warehouse. He says businesses are concerned people touching them could spread the virus.
We're educating the locations to wipe down the machines if need be.
The need for more space in bars and restaurants is the other issue.
Because they need an area to move their tables. We're going to be first on the chopping block to pull our machines out.
At Champs in Brookfield, the owner told 12 News off camera he's saying goodbye to 2 machines because he needs more room for social distancing.
I feel for my locations, my customers out there, there's going to be a lot of bars and restaurants that don't recover from this.
Jackamit is hoping it's not game over for his business.
Hopefully, we'll put them back on the street when things do get back to normal.
In West Dallas, Sarah Thamer, WISN 12 News. Sunlight bounces off shards of glass.
It's so hard to see people's lives fall apart like this.
A reflection of everything that is now broken.
It gets me emotional. This is my family's restaurant, locally owned for more than 30 years, so definitely an emotional moment.
The Tejadas say they worked hard for years to keep Uptown Restaurant running, now turned to rubble.
Kenosha has always supported us, and we will keep moving forward. Everything will be okay.
They're not the only ones picking up the pieces.
He has insurance for his buildings. I have insurance for my buildings. You know, we are all covered. But that's really not the point. The point is we need to listen to each other.
How we respond to crisis defines us.
Dirk Ingram is boarding up his business and painting a message.
It's an angel, it's a seraphim depicting an image of peace and hope.
I'm just so proud of our community that we've been able to come out here, team up, and just pick up.
It's unclear what the upcoming days or even weeks will bring.
We're trying to do our part for the city.
Tuesday was a reminder that while all of this is going on, so is this.
It's always darkest before dawn, and that's just the way it is. And maybe this is an awakening, and maybe we can make it better.
It's the start of their shift.
Attention, roll call.
And Milwaukee police officers Jay Lucky and Devon Williams
Check for these wanted subjects today.
are getting ready to patrol the streets on Milwaukee's west side.
Squad 3259.
Ooh, that car going fast. Ooh, go ahead and do a U-turn. Go ahead and do a U-turn.
Our cameras followed along as they caught drivers speeding.
He had to at least be going 80, 90 miles per hour. What's good, man?
I told you to do that came when I caught the...
Yeah, I was just telling him about that.
And kids skipping school.
Hey, so you done with school, or you just don't want to go to school?
Something Officer Lucky admits doing back in the day.
I used to do it. I used to do it. We look at them like those kids were us at one point.
The two went to North Division High School together and grew up on the same streets they now patrol.
I used to live in the upper. Looking good, man, looking good.
They say one of the hardest parts of their job is getting their own community to trust them, but the advantage comes from knowing the struggle all too well.
Specifically growing up in the inner city, in a high crime, high poverty area, neighborhood, I remember my mom being the one afraid to call the police when she seen drug dealers outside.
Black police officers make up 17% of the Milwaukee Police Department, but they say that has its challenges.
A perspective that we're sellouts or we're Uncle Toms and we're not for them, when in actuality, quite the opposite.
So how do you gain their trust?
To go in their neighborhoods and their community and show them we care, just being authentic and transparent as possible.
They say their experiences growing up in the inner city gives them hope they can turn doubt into trust.
We right here from the city, and we examples. I went to the Boys and Girls Club on 34th and North Avenue. I went to the YMCA on 12th and North Avenue, and I went to school in District 3. I lived in District 3, and here I am, a police officer. I know all of them on a first-name basis.
And they know you?
Yep.
We're going to different neighborhoods, playing basketball with kids.
Me personally, I got a lot of love for the city, and everybody I deal with, I want to show them that, listen, I'm for you, and I'll do my best to help you any way I can.
Reporting in Milwaukee, Sarah Thamer, WISN 12 News.
And there has been so much talk about social distancing and maintaining 6 feet apart. So what does the new normal look like inside elevators? 12 News' Sarah Thamer says it's a dilemma with few answers.
Going up.
Whether you're going up,
Going down.
or down,
The reality of it is there's only so much social distancing you can do in an elevator.
most elevators are no place to social distance. Mark Federley with Marquette's College of Engineering says that's why we should expect changes.
Changing the way buttons work and where, how people can interact with the elevator in ways that don't require the same person to touch the same spot in the elevator.
Elevator companies in the area tell me placing plexiglass in elevators would be a code violation, but Federley says that could change too.
Those codes were written pre-COVID, so codes can be modified, codes can be changed. The bigger challenge is if you think of high-rises, plexiglass probably isn't the right answer from the standpoint of you have 8 to 10 people or even more than that wanting to get on an elevator.
Inside City Hall's elevator, it's about 4 feet from one wall to the other, which means ideally only one person can be inside at a time to follow the CDC's social distancing guidelines.
You can't have rules for everything else and then no elevator rules.
Milwaukee Alderman Mark Bukowski is all for the change, even if it may let some people down.
I guess that means that we're going to have a sign that simply says, sorry, can only be one rider at a time. But eventually this building is going to be open, and the size of this elevator is not going to change.
In Milwaukee, Sarah Thamer, WISN 12 News.